Hello, everybody. I am Kristy.
Hey, everybody, I'm Holly, and this is...
Holly and Kristy Unscripted.
Woohoo! What episode is this? Episode 6?
I
think
have
so.
no idea.
I think it is. Yeah, I'm pretty
All right.
sure. So what's the date today? Today's the 18th. This will be aired on the 21st of February. And it's a gray, gross... Well, it's not gross. It's a Nova Scotia winter day.
It's warmer, which is important.
Yeah, that's good.
Warmer than it was this morning.
I hate to admit, I don't leave the house a whole lot in the wintertime.
No,
I
wouldn't either.
Well, I saw your pictures of you and the kids yesterday at the ski hill.
If I had a choice, that would not have been my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
And like Alex and the kids kept saying, we're so excited to go skiing. Can't wait to go skiing. And I enjoy skiing.
Yeah.
But it's not my favorite thing to do. And
I like the skiing part. I hate everything else. And I like the chalet and the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't know. I just don't like the cold. I don't like being cold at all.
And yesterday wasn't bad because it was hovering around 0. I think it was like +3 when we left or something. Or maybe -3. I can't remember. Anyway, it was warm. And we were hot when we were skiing. But the people... I am not a people person, and there were so many people there. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
You were shoved in when you went in to eat, because we got there around like 5 to 9, and it was packed then.
I bet.
And they open at 9. And they had the chairlift already running because they were so busy. So it was just, and the lines were crazy, and that hill is not big enough for the amount of people that go there. Like, they need to expand, or somebody needs to build another one. Yeah. Because it's
a pretty little hill.
It is. Yeah. And then, like, Penny, she took a lesson and went down the bunny hill a few times with her teacher, and then we were like, okay, let's try the chickadee, which is the easiest run. So she and I went down. Alex took the other two because they wanted to go down a more advanced hill or go faster, so they went, and then Penny and I went up, and there's people zooming by, like, who goes down the easiest hill if you know what you're doing? Like,
because
really,
it makes you feel like you're even better than you are.
Maybe. But I'm just like, personally, I hate the chickadee. Because it's very slow. It's very level, and I mean, there are some hills, but they're really nothing compared to the other ones. And there's other easier trails that are better than the chickadee. Yeah. And so I've got this little 7-year-old who's their very first time down a big hill. Aww. And we're kind of like taking our time, going slow, the wide turns back and forth, and she's snow plowing the whole way down. And she keeps falling, and someone goes past her and she falls and her ski falls off. And so I'm like basically carrying her down the hill. Right. And I'm falling because she's falling, and I'm trying to help her, and it was a lot. And by the end of it, I was like, I'm done.
I bet. I can't wait to take autumn skiing.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Maybe I'll try and take her earlier than that so she can get kind of used to it.
They catch on quick. Like, Penny caught on super quick.
Yeah. Kids are funny that way.
Yeah. And Avery struggled.
Yeah.
And he's the hockey player.
Yeah.
Like, it's the next thing to being on skates.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We did have fun, but it was a lot.
I can't remember the last time I went skiing. I'm ashamed to say it, actually. And it might even be like, I don't know if Wentworth was the last place I went. It might have been out west, which would mean it was a long time ago. I remember liking the Feffy Weffy, though. Maybe because I like the name. Yeah, those are good. I always like the Feffy, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so we actually, I shouldn't say we, you, Kristy, actually put together like a little bit of a thing for us. She came over today, and she takes out 2 pieces of paper. Everything's printed out with like ideas and lists and bullet points. Not only that, but on each page there's 2 copies of the thing, so we can just rip it in half, and we each have our own thing, so we don't have to share one to look at. I'm so impressed.
The last time we were all over the place. Like, I totally forgot.
That I have no idea what we even talked about.
Well, I knew we talked about like genders and Valentine's Day and all that stuff, and then I totally forgot that we talked about my cake business.
Oh, me too.
And I'm listening to it. I was like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought we stopped recording at that point. I'm like, oh, well, there it is.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And I know. And there were some things that I talked about last time too, that I remember thinking, I wonder if I should edit a little bit. And then I just didn't bother. And then it was like the next day that I put it on the podcast thing on the site to, like, you can pre-schedule it.
Right.
And I was trying to like write something. I was like, I have no idea what's even on this recording. So anyways, and it's 45 minutes is a long time to listen and then maybe go edit. So I just didn't bother.
Yeah, I was cleaning the kitchen. The girls went outside to play. Avery was reffing a couple games in Spring Hill. So I was just tidying up around the house, and I just turned it on and went away. And
it's kind of fun though to listen to your own voice.
It is.
I really like it, I have to say.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I don't know if that's vanity or not. Is that the same thing as vanity when it's like listening to your own voice that you like? I don't know.
I wouldn't put
it's
it
fun, though.
in the same category.
No.
I think it's just
like to hear your voice. Okay, go ahead. Why don't you start? Why don't you introduce the topic that you brought to us today?
All right, so what we chose to talk about was if you could be anything you wanted to be, no matter what your talents are or whatever, what would you be? And if you could live anywhere, where would you live?
Okay, so this is actually kind of pertinent because I love what I do, but I also have a background in like youth care. I worked in a lot of like group homes for at-risk youth in Halifax. And I always kind of wanted to work with, especially teenagers. Even when I was pretty young, I wanted to be like, not just teenagers, I guess, kids too. I wanted to be a child psychologist, or I wanted to find some way to work with teens. So I went to school for child and youth care work, and that took me into the group homes, which was great. Saw a lot of really interesting things that taught me a lot. And of course that led into, okay, I want to do more. And so I got into I started working at a program with the YMCA called Alternative Suspension, which is still running in Quebec. It was a national pilot project at the time, and I don't know if it's still running here in Nova Scotia. It was hard to get the school boards on board because it was really kind of a partnership thing.
Oh, okay.
Working with kids who were suspended. And that was really cool. I got to have more contact and impact with the individual kids and their families and like their support workers and stuff. But still, I felt like I was kind of spinning my wheels. So then I got my master's in counseling, and love counseling, and love sitting down. I love the privilege of hearing people's stories and like what's going on with them. Because, I mean, we could have done a whole show, as always, we could have done a whole show just now before we put the mics on, and we were just talking a lot about like our own experiences and I have bipolar too, and so we were talking about medications and stuff like that and experiences there. So I really love and feel privileged when people tell me that stuff, the kind of stuff that you and I were just talking about.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we'll share in another episode at some point. And so there's that. Also, I have done yoga most of my life, and I love yoga. And while I was taking my master's degree, I actually almost took a break from my master's to take my yoga teacher training.
Oh, really?
And I've thought about it many times and just haven't done it for, whatever reason. So if I could do anything, I would be a yoga instructor / counselor for kids and teens. And I would use yoga as a therapeutic model to work with teenagers and kids.
That would be really cool.
And I would do it in the Caribbean. I would, if money was not an issue, I would have the practice here, and I'm just coming up with this now, I would take the kids and their families down to retreats in the Caribbean, where we could stay there for whatever length of time. Everybody could work on their stuff together. Everybody could learn yoga and mindfulness and breathing and all that stuff, and then come back. Because I want to serve the people of this area.
Right.
Plus, I have a hard time with the idea of moving away from here with my daughter. Because I wouldn't ever take her away from where her dad is, like, you know. But I don't want to take her away from her grandparents. I don't want to take her away from this town because I like raising her in this town. I like being in this town. But yeah, I could handle doing some yoga in the Caribbean. How about you?
What is it about the Caribbean specifically?
It's hot and it's lush and it's beautiful. And I know someone, it's also very top of my mind right now because someone I'm very close to is down in the Caribbean. Well, in what's the word I'm looking for? Central America, doing yoga teacher training. So it's also really top of mind. But no, I think just the beauty of it and the heat and the water and the lushness of it, I think.
Yeah.
That or like Bora Bora, which is the same kind of idea. It's hot and beautiful. Thailand. Yeah.
Have you
Bali.
ever been down there?
I've been to Guyana, which is at the very top of South America. It sits right on the top, next to Venezuela. If anybody knows for anybody who knows the geography, I was there for a summer, in the summer of '95, maybe. It was a volunteer thing, and that was awesome. Oh my God, it was awesome. Yeah. We weren't anywhere near the water. We were like in the interior of the country in like the middle of the jungle. The village was called 72 miles because that's how far it was from the nearest village. And you had to go in this like great big like army truck on the dirt roads through the jungle. Like that's the only way to get there.
Oh, wow.
No electricity, no running water, no nothing. The hut that we lived in, there were 10 of us, a bunch from Canada and some local Guyanese volunteers from like the city. And we were staying in this hut, but it wasn't big enough for us all to sleep in. So we all had hammocks and hung our hammocks underneath because everything's on stilts there in case during the rainy season, in case it floods. So we all slept underneath the hut in our hammocks with our mosquito nets and stuff. It was awesome. Yeah. And in the mornings, you'd hear the monkeys and the baboons or what. I don't even remember exactly what kind of species we're talking about, but you'd hear them all like off in the distance. And there were great big scorpions and great big spiders.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Some of it was pretty freaky, but all in all, it was incredible. And hot. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah,
especially in summer, eh?
Yeah.
Because that's right.
Yeah.
On the equator.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how close. I should know, but I don't remember how close it was to the equator, but it's pretty friggin' hot. And we'd have to start working early in the morning and then take like a 2 or 3 hour break in the middle of the day and we'd all sleep. A couple of times people were fooling us enough to like try and suntan, which was just stupid.
Oh, wow.
Like you're completely written off for the rest of the day. You can't do anything after that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That was incredible.
Yeah.
How about you?
If I could be anything, and I barely get time to think about this because I just come up with ideas and then I don't think about them.
Perfect. That's good.
And growing up, I had so many things that I wanted to be. Like at one point, I wanted to be a detective, and I'd watch mystery movies and try and figure it out before they showed you on the show. But then I realized that they don't give you any clues. They just figure it out as they go. Kind of thing.
Yeah. You don't really have anything to work with.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd be a teacher and psychologist and all that. But at this point in my life, if I could be anything, I would be a writer.
Really? What kind of writing would you do?
I don't know. I kind of lean more towards nonfiction than fiction. But
like what kind of nonfiction?
Just like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say self-help, but just kind of like around
New Age
kind of
philosophy
the same stuff,
kind of
same
thing?
Stuff I post about anyway.
Yeah.
Like women empowerment and building confidence and things like that.
Yeah.
But it could be fun to write fiction too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of go with it. I think it would be a lot more difficult because you have to come up with everything yourself, where nonfiction, it is what it is, and
you just kind of
talk
like
about it.
Go. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be cool.
Would you want to study it, or would you want to just like write?